Hi guys, welcome back to the channel as usual. I wanted to give you a very brief update on the VR and Flight Simulator 2024 configurations following the release of a software update 4 as requested by some friends here on the channel. This video will be pretty short and focused on main elements and settings to modify or pay attention to. Let's start with virtual desktop. I show you from inside the headset. So network, please use a 5 gigahertz network. Absolutely do not choose 2.4 gigahertz if you have it as an option. The bandwidth should be 1200 megabit per second or more. Ensure you have a wide enough band. There are also a faster router in the market. The router should be Wi-Fi 6 technology or later, and preferably in the same room as the headset for maximum signal strength. This is important. The general settings, they are pretty much default. More important are the streaming settings. Resolution, I've selected godlike because my graphical card and RTX 4080 Super allows it. If you can't reach this, try Ultra or I. Resolution is the most important factor for VR performance. The frame rate, I would set it to 72 frames per second, which is sufficient for a good smoothness. And the codec, I use the AV1 10-bit for the Quest 3. It compresses more and adds a bit of latency, but in terms of quality and sharpness, it's unbeatable in my opinion. At the bitrate, since AV1 has a higher latency, I keep the bitrate around 150 megabit per second, not maxed out at 200. You can try yourself what fits best for you. Then very important is the SSW, the synchronous space warp. This allows the PC to work at half the frames, in this case 36 frames per second, while the others are generated by an algorithm. This greatly assists the GPU and ensures maximum fluidity and smoothness. And then comes the super resolution. I use this for additional image clarity. It doesn't impact the PC as the algorithm runs inside the headset. Video buffering is kept at default to reduce occasional stutters. And the performance overlay, you can enable this to monitor all parameters in real time inside the headset as an overlay panel inside the headset. Okay, this was virtual desktop. Let's move to Flight Simulator 2024 in-game settings VR panel. Very important is the upscaling. I use the NVIDIA DLSS Super Resolution, or you can choose the AMD FSR to maintain a steady 36 frames per second. And the DLSS mode, I set it to performance. This renders the game at a lower resolution and upscales it using the AI to the native resolution, saving significant GPU resources. It's the most important parameter for me. It really improves GPU running. The foveated rendering, I suggest to keep this off. While it should improve GPU performance, it creates artifacts for me and causes GPU overhead, like it's indicated here. So let's see the other in-game settings. AMD Fidelity Sharpening. I leave this at default as I am already satisfied with the image clarity I get. The frame rate capping, I don't use any frame rate limits. Reprojection, I keep this disabled because reprojection is already handled by the SSW within virtual desktop, as we saw. The cockpit size, you can adjust your size to your liking. It increases or decreases the perceived size of the cockpit and the world outside. Low latency mode, I keep this on, though you can also use on plus boost. Dynamic settings, I don't select this because I prefer to have manual control over everything rather than letting the game adjust them. The main graphic settings, Post-SU4 update. With SU4, I've been able to increase several settings and maintain good performances. So the terrain level of details, this is the most important setting. I've moved from 100 to 200. It provides much better terrain resolution and details at a distance. Then off-screen terrain pre-caching, I set this to ultra. In VR, this ensures that textures and objects are loaded in a full 360 degrees radius, which significantly reduces stuttering when you turn your head. Displacement mapping, I keep this disabled while it adds detail to the ground close-up. It's very taxing for VR performance, in my opinion, in my case. Building and trees, I set this to high. It greatly improves the scene's density and the high aesthetic quality of the trees, which is vital for the look of Flight Simulator 2024, in my opinion. Plants, rocks, and grass. These are on medium or lower. They don't change the aesthetics much, but can impact the frame rate. Object level of detail, I try to keep this as high as possible. It helps you see more details for other aircraft, especially in multiplayer. Text resolution set to ultra. Since my card has 16 gigabytes of VRAM, it can handle it. If you experience VRAM saturation, then drop this to high or medium. Clouds, I set these to high rather than the maximum setting because they are very taxing. Anisotropic filtering, 16 times. This doesn't put a heavy load on the GPU. Shadows, I keep terrain shadows at medium high level. And let's have a look to the fauna animals. I recommend turning this off unless you are specifically doing a safari. Loading groups of animals can cause sudden performance drops and frame rate stutters when you are landing or flying at low altitudes. I forgot to take something about the DLSS swapper and presets. The DLSS swapper, I use this app. You can Google it and you can easily find it in the internet. I use this app to ensure I'm using the latest version of DLSS, like version 3.7, 3.8, 310.12 across all my games. The most recent versions provide a much more evolved and efficient algorithm. The DLSS presets, I suggest selecting the preset with the latest letter, as it typically offers the most advanced technology for image clarity and performance. Okay, that's all. I hope this video helped you to set up the main settings for Flight Simulator 2024. Let me know in the comments below how it's going. Do make some tests, and okay, see you to the next video, and thanks as usual for following the channel. Bye bye to everyone.